Streaming cyberspace into your place, sanctioned by the Bootleg Racing League from Martinsville Speedway. It's the Virtual Grip Network's second round coverage of the SK Modified Invitational Series, Season 35. Well, after a week off for Easter, the bootleggers are back behind the wheel of their fenderless hot rods in quest of a championship. In the opening round, Jason Menda led the final 18 laps of Southern National to take the win and the early points lead. But the turning point of the race was on lap 83 when reigning and defending champ Todd Liston, after leading from the green flag, had no one to blame for a spin but himself as he gave up the lead, ended up far down the order. You know, Donnie Moore finished second, and Lowell Jewell celebrated his 300th career late model start by posting a podium third. Now, after watching the opener fearing some type of pulmonary incident, my cardiologist has upped my meds. If you're confident your blood pressure has room to rise, then pull the lever on the Lazy Boy and settle in for some heart-pumping simulated short-track racing action about to stream your way. You know, draped in the aroma of a bright red Jesse Jones wiener, mustard chili, and some vinegar-based coleslaw, a mouth-watering Martinsville hello and welcome on this Friday night, April 5th, 2024. Papa John Hine will soon be joining yours truly, Bill Soupson, live in the VGN broadcast booth to give you our bird's eye view. We play Ryan Seneca, turning the knobs, pushing the sliders. And while I partake in my very own version of the Martinsville hot dog, let me throw it down to John Hyde, who's piloting the VGN Thunderbolt Grease Slapper. John, how's it feel out there?
I feel like I'm driving on a paperclip. Oh yeah, this is the paperclip, isn't it? Well, this track is a lot of fun, a lot of long straights, and you got some tight corners, so a lot of braking. But let me I think this Hilbert behind me around here, and a couple things to watch for tonight, Soup. If you're going to try to make a pass on somebody, you know, all of a sudden you come out of the corner here, you want to get down to the inside, get your nose in here. But if you overdrive the corner, you tend to want to wash up, maybe up to the second lane right here. When you do that, someone might be there in contact. So watch that, especially on starts and restarts, for this inside lane, maybe to overdrive it. And like I said, drive up the track a little bit, you know, and we see that a lot here. The other thing that we need to watch here, I'm going to let this gentleman behind me, Mr. John Wilson, get back here. The other thing you need to watch for, when you get down into these corners, the quick way around is right around on this red and white line here, but that is a bump. If you get up on that, it upsets the car, pushes it out. It might even spin you out, Soup. So both ends have this. You get down here and try to get on that, and then all of a sudden it just sends you right out to the outside wall, and in there you go. So that's what you need to look for tonight. Watch that inside line to shoot out. That's what we're watching.
All right, pull that car down pit lane and hustle yourself up the stairs here and join me up in the booth.
Got to stop for a hot dog on my way. So.
Yeah, you got it. You know, let's go ahead and talk about the points. With this being the second round, the points are going to basically mirror the results of the first round. In 8 tries, Jason Menda has never won in a modified here at Martinsville. That's not the case for Donnie Moore. With 4 Martinsville's modified wins, he is second most only to J.R. Shepard, who has 7. One of Lowell Jewell's 300 starts produced a Martinsville win. Hey, in the opening round, nobody collected more incidents in that opener than Ricky Harden. He had 16. In contrast, Steven Spies, well, he did all 100 laps incident-free. Brendan Myers is becoming a driver that used to race under the radar. Well, you know, Hup, he's showing up as a blimp on the screen now. Jeffrey Harden hopes his 9th Martinsville start will bring him his first Martinsville victory. Todd Liston hopes to shake off that Southern National miscue that he had that had him finish well down the order, took away a win. How about Joe Segala? You know, he's a former modified champion doing that 6 seasons ago, but earlier tonight, he won in the Street Sox, so he's on a little bit of a roll. And his fans at the Granary, that's the local Plain City, Ohio watering hole, are cheering as their former police chief, Stephen Hilbert, rounds out the top 10. Nice field of 18 cars here tonight. Glad you are with us. With that, let's go ahead and run down the starting order for you right now. Well, it's a rookie who's going to be on the pole. That's Scott Negus. He's going to be inside of veteran Kurt Smith. John?
John Wilson and Steve Hilbert, they're going to occupy the second row.
Joe Segala, we talked about him earlier. He's going to be in fifth. Flanking him, defending champ, reigning champ, Todd Liston.
Jeffrey Harden, he's going to roll off number 7. Next to him will be the 25. That's Brennan Myers.
Steven Spies has still been perfect for that first 100's lap, hoping not to pick up an incident point. He'll be starting in 9th. Ricky Harden outside of him.
The boss man, Lowell Jewell, is going to start 11th. Next to him will be Jason Menda.
Jason Menda, who won last time out. Then the drivers who didn't race last time. Chris Hazlick, he's going to be in the Baker's Dozen spot. Matt Hoos outside of him.
Tom Hilbert, well, I'm not out there, so but I'm scheduled to start 16th.
We are going to figure out how to do that without poor John having to take a start every time. He is racking up the career starts, though. Mark Herzog in 17th. Austin Belke sneakily in 18th back there. I mentioned that those drivers in the back did not start. Let me correct myself. Some of those guys were here, but they finished outside of the top 15. One person who is always here is our pace car driver, the perfectly mesmerizing Josie Kirkland. She's done the parade wrap, now taking around the pace lap. She'll pull it in, and we'll get round number 2 underway. Mark Herzog is not on track, so that's going to give us a total of 16 drivers taking the grid. The last one out there being Austin Belke. Watch out for the 24. He's quick. He'll be starting in the back. Luckily, with a relatively small field, Austin doesn't have as far to go. All right, round number 2 about to get underway here at the Paperclip. You know what to do. Let me back away from the mic and wait and wait. Chug-a-lug, makes you want to holler, hi-de-ho! And it is indeed the rookie, Stock Negus, leading the Stampede down into the first corner in the number 29. Kurt Smith right behind him. They tried to go single file. John Wilson is on the inside looking to get ahead of Steve Hilbert. Hilbert rolling the top side in the 52. Not going to get it. Get loose. Is that driver in third position, and he's going to fall well down the order now. So move Hilbert up into third. No caution. Boy, you talked about it, John. That might have been cold tires. Is that an issue? Boy, the car got loose awfully quick.
Yeah, cold tires, and if you gas it up too quick and though that rubber isn't warm yet, they'll snap around on you pretty quick.
Bad news for John Wilson. He falls all the way down to 15th position. The good news is he didn't damage the car, so he still has time to get it going.
Yeah, if you're going to have a problem having it right there on lap 1, that's probably a good time. Give you plenty of time to recover.
So that allowed Steve Hilbert to tuck into third position. They are single file back behind him. I'll run it down for you. Joe Segala, Jeffrey Harden, Steven Spies. Basically, we got ourselves Pasadena on New Year's Day right now as everybody is in a parade.
We got Hoos is in the wall.
93 involved in this one. I could see it happening, and it's also one of the Hardens. It was Jeffrey. But it's really the accordion effect. The checked up, it goes all the way back to from the 25 of Myers. And John, they just kept checking up. It went back. Myers checked up to Lowell Jewell. He checked up all the way back into Menda. And
yeah, this actually started with contact between the 55 and the 36 of Jeff Harden there. And kind of looks like... I think Harden entered the turn in the second lane and kind of come down there, and Steven tried to fill a hole. Maybe a little too early to be trying to fill that hole there for the 55, but, that happens sometimes.
Well, we talked about the trials of Austin Belke, who started at dead last. Well, he's worked his way up into 12th position, somebody to keep an eye on. With the early pace lap, let's go ahead and throw it over to John, and John can pick a driver he'd like to talk to out there. Who are you feeling like, John?
Why don't we get the new guy, Scott Negus,
That would have been my choice, yeah. Good call.
Yeah, he was quick in practice, and now he's out front here. Scott, this is John up at the booth. You got a copy?
I got you, big guy.
Hey, Scott, this is John up at the booth. You got a copy?
I got you. Yeah.
Oh, there you are. Well, Scott, I tell you what, fast in practice. Now you're leading a race. You're a rookie. What's it like to be out front there? How does that feel?
Well, you know, when you go to Halloween and you're only a kid and you get scared by that kid that comes around the corner and scares the bejesus out of you, that's me right now.
Scott, it's Soup. Where do you hail from? Let's get to know you a little bit.
I'm from Nova Scotia, Canada.
Oh, across the border. What's your is the modified your go-to car in iRacing? If you had your choice, what are you the most competitive in?
I love the Supers the best.
All right. Well, you're out in front. You got yourself 7 laps leading, only 93 to go for wire to wire. Good luck.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right, another Canadian joining. I believe we only have one more. Wilson, is anybody else from up there? I don't know off the top of my head. Yeah.
And I like how he referenced Halloween, and he's got an orange car, so there you go, man. Perfect all around.
That's very, very nice of you. You know, they don't have Halloween in Canada. They wait till maple season, and they all dress up like maple leaves, and they go around and trick or treat, and you get yourself some type of syrup. Little differently in Canada, but I'm glad that he's participating. How about a tip of the hat to Steve Hilbert? Started in 4th position, has been able to hold it. We look for a big mover. Well, we talked about what Belke has done. Keep an eye on him. Who's up a couple positions as well. Pace car has pulled off, so we're going to be going green, working lap number 10. Let's see what Negus can do right now in the orange and black. You know, that's a good call there, John, as you're talking Halloween. We go green. He's out there in his pumpkin. Nice going. Now launch the battle for 3rd. Look what Steve Hilbert can do. Look at the confidence of what is that. Oh, my goodness. We got some guys getting loose. Everything seems to be okay. We stay green right now. Some bumping and banging. That was the 55 of Speeds. Got into the tail of Hilbert, and then the 3 of Lowell Jewell got into the back of Speeds. We continue to race 2 wide from everybody. A battle for the lead up top, looking to roll the top side is the number 6. That is.
There's a lot of guys on that outside. Speeds is to the outside. Liston's to the outside. Looks like there's some life in that outside lane.
So Sagala works his way up to 3rd. Hilbert drops down.
Oh, we got a wreck on the back.
Piling in and rolling over. My goodness, looks like a beached catfish was Chris Haslip.
Rule 1 of Martinsville, 3 wide never works out well. And those cats were 3 wide, and they just ran out of space.
Yeah, the cats he was talking about was Lowell Jewell on the inside, the 25 of Brendan Myers, and then on the outside is Todd Liston.
On this caught up a lot of guys. As I look up at the track after that, I see Matt Hoos is in his 2nd wreck of the race. Get caught up again. John Wilson, quite a few guys actually.
We ride on board with Hazlip, who went over. Belke tried to work his way through, but ran out of room. He had to hit the brakes. Jeffrey Harden did a good job of getting through that melee. I'll go ahead and talk to Jeffrey right now. Let's dial up Jeff and see how he's feeling. Jeff, it's Soup here. You started in 8th, you fell back. Did you get through that last one clean? It looks like you did.
I might have had a little net code in there. I'm not sure, but the car feels pretty good. I guess we'll find out here in a minute.
Tell us about the racetrack. Have you been to the outside yet?
No, a little bit, but it's really slick up there, and it's tight on entry and slick in the middle, and then gets tight again on exit. So it's not very nice up there.
John, you got something for Jeff?
I do. You talk about the outside being treacherous, but Jeff, I saw a few guys up there kind of making that work for a little bit. Does it get tighter? Maybe once your tire temperatures come back up, or does it stay pretty slick up there?
I think once the tire temperature comes up, it gets better because it rolls the corner. I guess the entry a little bit better, so you're not so loose in the center.
Oh,
Jeff,
fair enough. Sorry.
I got one for you. Is Brandy home from work yet? Did she make it home to watch this one?
You just walked in the door right now. The dogs were going crazy about it.
All right. Good luck. Tell her to feed the pups and settle in for the final. What do you got there? About 85 laps to go. Good luck.
All right, thanks, Soup.
Let's take a look at the outside of his car. Let's look at yeah, just that one doesn't work for me. Yeah, I guess.
That's so the guys in the space station can follow him around.
All right, well, Scott Negus has led the entire way, the Canadian driver. Smith was trying to make the outside line work. It would have been interesting to see how that goes. Segala is up 2 spots. Now, Belke did get involved in that one, but nevertheless, he is up from 18th spot into 10th, so keep an eye on him. Plenty of time for him to come, and he is our big mover as far as I can tell. You can do these series long enough, you get to kind of feel out how things are going to go, and you really would not expect Belke to be racing in the back for too long.
And it's a good time to explain why he was back there, though. The lining up is always determined the week before and where you finish and whatnot, so if you don't show, you're going to start back there.
I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Tom Hilbert, the little brother of Steve, in 9th spot on the inside line. Let's see what Tom can do here on this next restart. We're going to be going green. Leading the whole way has been Scott Negus. Working lap number 18 as soon as they start to roll around. I thought they were going to roll this time. Boy, he really held him up a long time, but now he gets going. That lets Segala take a shot at Kurt Smith. Segala trying to make the inside line work. This will be interesting to see because these are 2 quality drivers here. Smith on the outside, Segala on the inside. Man, they are close as Smith really.
Oh, and Segala overdrove it.
And we get the caution. So Smith got into him, but you could hear my partner call that before it happened. You think Segala overdrove it, and that's what ruined his momentum. He got up in front of Smith, and then Smith got into him.
Yeah, he sent that in there, and that's what I talked about in the pre-race. You know, if you try to get that little extra, and yeah, he just drove that. Segala, that was ambitious. That is gonna work out.
That is exactly what you talked about. But what you talked about was maybe drifting up into the guy on the side of you. He got it in there so fast that he cleared Smith, then got up in front of him, kind of like a slide job that went south on him.
Yeah, that's that wasn't, oh, I drove it in a little too deep. That was, oh dear God, I've messed this up. And yeah, that was, he had no hope of that not happening there. But at least, you know, when that happens, and I've made that mistake too. So, I mean, you know, you're trying to drag race that guy down the straightaway, and then you get to the corner and you want to get that nose in front of him, and you drive it too deep. But usually when that happens, you wipe the guy out to your outside. At least this time, he got himself kind of wrecked there. And, you know, I can tell you, you feel bad when you wreck the guy on the outside because you messed up. That kind of stinks and sticks with you for a few laps.
Hey, John, why don't you talk to Kurt Smith and see what he has to say about it? Meanwhile, viewers, while you listen to Kurt Smith, remember, he doubles as a voice over for cartoon character. You know what? Kurt Smith has now muted his mic. You know, I think that's in protest of me complaining about his cartoonish voice.
That could also be his Crode Brown moment he had when the 81 just shot across his nose and just needs to kind of work stuff out a little bit.
You mean he's watched enough of these broadcasts to know that we in the booth, he'd be one of the guys we'd go into, and he thought he'd take care of that ahead of time. All right. Well, the lights are still on. Let's see if we can dial up one more. How about Steve Hilbert? He's up in 3rd. Let's see what he feels like. Steve, it's Soup. You're up in 3rd. You had a little bit of an incident early on. You feeling good?
Yeah, feeling all right. I'm not sure how long this is going to last, but I'm doing all right.
Go ahead, John.
Well, you avoided trouble. Sometimes, you know what, when the racing gods are smiling down on you, a little luck can go a long way here. You're sitting 3rd. What's your strategy now for the rest of this?
Try to stay out of trouble the rest of the way. And I got a lot of fast guys behind me, so we'll see how it goes, but feel good about it.
We'll get you real quick on this because they're doubling up. Steve, we kid about the granary there, the local watering hole in Plain City, Ohio. Have you ever been there?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Good luck to you, man.
Spent a week there one night.
All right, there you have it. Steve Hilbert, the Chief. We got to get the granary as a sponsor on that car. Okay, Kurt Smith, after the incident, is on in 4th position. Steven Spies has allowed to move up into the outside of row 1. And meanwhile, John, this is all going behind Scott Negus, the rookie, showing him how to do it.
Yeah, but watch Spies on that outside. He's really good at using that outside line. We'll find out just how strong it is here when we go.
Look how long Negus holds the field, man. He really waits till the very end before he gets going. Spies felt it. He gets a good jump. They are side by side through 1 and 2. Let's look at the momentum that the 55 gets on the top side. He's starting to gain. They go into corners 3 and 4 like Cialis bathtubs. Now the 55 has a little bit of advantage coming out of the corner. Is he going to get credited with leading the lap? Indeed he is on the outside. New leader is Steven Spies. Let's see if he can finish the job. He cannot. The car drifts up and he loses the spot to Negus, and now he's going to lose the spot also to Kurt Smith. Smith back in second. Spies is going to tuck down into third. Rounding out your top 5. Well, it's the Chief. He's hanging in there. Look at the action going on in front of him between Smith and Spies. And they're rounding out your top 5. The winner of round number 1, Jason Menda, looking to move up some more in the points.
Yeah, we know Jason's his foot's firmly on the throttle. We know his attitude.
Indeed, I guess I could be more correct on that. When you are the points leader, it's hard to move up in the points, but trying to distance themselves from those who are chasing them. Let's watch Menda right now. He is all over the back as we ride on board with the 45. All over the back of Steve Hilbert. Hilbert not quite getting the car down as low as the rest of the guys. And now Menda gives him a little bit of a punt out of 4. And I think that actually was some momentum for Hilbert. And then they spin.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was, I think that might have been Menda pushing Hilbert into Spies.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit. If you watch when Menda pops him coming out of the corner, it upset the car a little bit, and he stays low. If you look down the front stretch, how low that 52, he had no hope of making that corner because you just don't have the angle. That nose is going to go right up the track, and that's exactly what happened there. If you go on that low line down on one of these front or back stretch here, you've got to lift way early because that nose is not going to turn.
The other driver late to the scene, the last one in collected on the inside was, well, we just talked about him. That was Jeffrey Harden. You know, poor Brandy gets the dogs fed, settles in to watch her man race. The first thing she sees is 36 get put in the wall. Let's look at the 36 right now, John, and help me. He's in pit lane. There's only 3 wheels on the car if we get a look at it. Is that fixable? Can he get back out there?
No, he's done.
He's done? Okay. No fast repairs in the last couple seasons here for the Bootleg Racing League. You break it, you bought it, and, well, apparently that one's done for the... It's an early evening here at Martinsville for former champion Jeffrey Hart.
Don't look now, but with all this chaos, that 45, he's back in the catbird seat starting third. He'll be on that inside row when we go back to green here.
He is indeed. Now, what's interesting, he's led 28 of the 30 laps so far that we've had, 29 to 31. iRacing is going to credit, of course, we saw getting to the front there was Steven Spies before he had his incident, and then Kurt Smith also have led a lap each. So it's not going to be wire to wire for Negus. And John, you know, I like it when we document the story of the race from before the green flag actually falls. Let's look at the 24. And if we have time, let's see if you can talk to him right now as we look to see are the lights are still flashing on the pace car. John, why don't you dial up Austin Belkey?
Hey Austin, this is John up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey John, got you loud and clear.
Well, man, you know, you're a lot closer to the front than where you started. I want to ask you a technical question, how you got around the track, but you know what? I want to know how you've missed all the chaos. How many close calls have you had?
I've had a couple of close calls, but I was actually in 2 pretty big cautions. The one where the backstretch got clogged, I almost had it stopped, and then I saw Van Hoos's car and I barely tapped him, and then the debacle coming off at turn 4, somebody got my right side, and I feel like it helped the car under caution, and then we went back to green flag, and it was worse.
Have you been up top?
I have been up top, yeah. Thankfully, last restart I was able to get back down, but we'll see how the top goes again.
All right, good luck to you, man.
Thank you, buddy.
Austin Belke started dead last, did not race in the season opener. So he'll be what we call trophy hunting. Although, with still the large majority of the season left to go, still time for him to sneak a championship if the cards fall right. All right, let's watch what Scott Negus does here as he just waits and waits and waits and waits till he almost gets to the start-finish line before he goes. So far, he can't argue with successes. He's able to hold off the guys. Now, let's look at Menda. He won the season opener. He's worked his way up from 12th into 3rd, and he's in the inside of Kurt Smith. Poor Kurt Smith really has had getting his money's worth for excitement in this race as he's had to fight the entire 34 laps. Menda and Smith side by side. Let's see how it works out.
I think Menda wants the lead.
The advantage for Smith is that maybe Negus is not as fast as some of those guys, and Menda might be pinned down in there, but now they get it sorted out. 1, 2, 3. Let's round out the rest of your top 5. We talked to Austin Belke, and then there is a battle a little farther back. Hey, how about John Wilson? He started in 3rd, fell all the way back when he had that early incident. He's worked his way up to 5th. Segala's on the outside. Look at Hoos in the blue and yellow flame, number 21. The Hoosinators are cheering. Behind him is Spees. Everybody coming back into the race.
They sure are, and they've got Segala hung up to that outside, but Joe's fighting.
Boy, there is so much action. We're going to stay on this one because that's where my spidey senses are tingling. Meanwhile, Menda is all over the back of our leader. We'll jump up there when Menda makes a move. They get that sorted out a little bit behind. Still fighting in there now. That's Spees underneath Segala. Segala tuck on the top side. Reigning and defending champion in his fluorescent colored machine, number 87, Todd Liston, looking on from the popcorn position. I want to go up front. Working the outside is Menda. They got into a mix-up. Menda gets pushed with a hip check to the outside, and Kurt Smith is there to steal the lead.
Boy, that was an opportunistic move on Kurt Smith. What a nice move it was.
Negus was covering the inside like wall-to-wall carpet. Menda decided to go to the outside. They got together. Both drifted to the top side. Neither one got it squirrely. And Kurt Smith said, I can do it. Now they get together again. Negus goes around. Everybody's helping him pirouette. The 29 ends up going straight. And the guys who are out of it, Hoos is involved in it, and Steven Spees is involved with it.
And
Watch
Soup,
everybody get a piece with him here. Go ahead.
And Soup, what was the other thing I told you about being on the inside that will really mess you up? Watch the corner entry for that 29. He taps that berm and up the track he went.
Well, for Negus, it would have been like a quarter spin, but everyone going by got a piece of him. And by the time it was done, he got spun round and round like a record baby. Boom, 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 boom. Just keep coming. And by the time it's all set, oh, look at that. His car is pointed straight. It's a 29. Well, he led one lap earlier, and now he's up there chalking. Going to be lap number 5 up front. It is Kurt Smith. We'd like to talk to Kurt Smith, but he has boycotted interviews. Let's go ahead. I'm going to try to force my way through the mute. And I'm just going to talk to Kurt right now and tell him what he's done so far, and maybe he'll answer back. He started in 2nd. He's worked his way up 1 spot, but that really doesn't explain what's been going on. Kurt, I know you can hear me, and you just protested because I made fun of your cartoon-like voice. Come on, Kurt. Give it up. Not going to talk to me. But there he is. Hey, how you feeling up in front?
I don't think I got the pace to stay up here, but it's nice to be up here for a little bit.
All right, have you been to the top? You've been to the bottom? You got Menda behind you. Menda have a reputation of being aggressive. Any thoughts?
Yeah, he's been getting some really good starts here, so it'll just be a matter if I can hold him off here on the start, and if Austin can get in between us, that would be good. But yeah, Menda's going to run me clean. He always does, but he's not going to give me an inch.
All right, thanks for talking to us, Kurt Smith, veteran, racing up front. got himself a Moonlights as Martin the Marmot in the Cartier series there. You can catch on Cartoon Network. We have time. Let's take a look at, we are at Martinsville, and so I like to always take this opportunity to have my traditional Martinsville lunch. We're going to bring that up to you. John, you can't see it, but look what I'm going to show you right here. I'm going to bring it up. Oh, sitting right there on my poker table. What I got there are two bratwursts in buns with mustard and kraut, and then some potato salad and a little moonshine there to help it go down.
Well, the silence you will hear on my end now is because I ran and got myself something to eat. You know, I didn't get the name Papa John, I guess, for not eating. So now I'm hungry, so thanks.
It's my pre-race meal. It gets me in the spirit for Martinsville every time we race here. All right, we're going to be working lap number 46. It is Kurt Smith. He's led 7 laps. He got Menda to the outside. Menda is in a hurry. Now positioned on the inside. We got to continue the watch. Look how early Kurt Smith goes compared to what Negus did. A great jump from the 6. He gets a jump. Menda had no chance of that one. And now watch the 24. He's on the inside. He's got Wilson to the outside. Wilson started in 3rd, fell down the order, worked his way back up. That is very different from what Belke has done, who started in the back and has worked his way back up side. He's happy to be on the inside right now, but my goodness, Wilson is not making it easy on Belke. Belke may be pinned behind Menda. Is Menda's cars healthy? I don't know. He's been in a lot of accidents. That 45's have been pushed from all angles. We'll see how it plays out. Look what Wilson has done as he powers around the 24 on the top.
Yeah, I said it earlier. That outside line looks healthy once the tires come up to speed, and Wilson did a really nice move there. And that also could be maybe Belke kind of maybe letting him go, because if you got that car to the outside, you're using up your tires, not to slide up that track and run into him. Oh, we got a battle for the lead. Linda just used his bumper again.
With apologies to all the drivers farther back in the field for the next few laps, we're going to stay up here on the lead. You heard Kurt Smith in the interview say, I don't know if I have the speed to stay up here. You got Menda, whose philosophy is get to the front, burn up whatever tire equity you need to get there, and then make them pass you at the end. Well, he's trying to do that right now. John Wilson, tip of the hat to what he has done. He fell way back, has worked his way back up. You got to worry that Belke is, not only does he have the talent, but he has the strategy to maybe run with these guys. Look how he's laying back right now. I think he's laying back not only just to save the tires, but maybe to give himself a little room to avoid any incident that happens in front of him.
Well, you know, Kurt Smith was running 3rd, and contact between the front two pole vaulted him to the lead, so maybe John Wilson is in the spot to be in.
It's the man in white against the man in black. Kurt Smith and Jason Menda. Menda looking to the inside.
Yeah, look at Menda going to the outside, going a little higher, and then turning down, trying to get a run coming up out of the corners. He's about a half a lane higher than what Kurt Smith is in the corners. He does it again. Now look at that. Kurt goes up.
I'll tell you right now, as soon as they get around Kurt Smith, you're going to hit a pop. That's what you're going to hear, because he is the cork in the bottle right now. They are lined up behind him. Smith may not be the fastest, but for now, he's racing like his car is wider than a Julia Roberts smile. Look how they check up. Menda has to check up. Wilson has to check up. Belke has to check up. Belke loses momentum. That's opens the door for the double Nicholas Spies. Spies thinking about getting underneath the 45. Belke says, not this lap. Smith drifts high, John. Man, Menda is really working him.
Man, he really is, and he's getting off the corner a lot better. I think it's a matter of time. Oh, and there. These guys are slicing and dicing down the front stretch. I tell you, that 6 is starting to lose grip coming out of the corner. Watch that 45. He's going to get this pass done. It's going to start when he comes up out of the corner, not going into another corner.
We're going to risk it here and go on board with Tom Hilbert. He is the last car. He is the caboose in a 10-car train. We won't stay there long because I think Menda's going to make the move, and we don't want to miss that one. But look at this. You look ahead, 10 cars in front of Hilbert. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, let's go back up front. Menda. Man, I tell you right now, he would be a poor doctor because he has no patience. right now. He is working on the back of Kurt Smith.
He's doing a good job not getting into him because, yeah, that 6 is a bit slower. And, you know, when you're the guy behind like that, it's real easy to get up there and get into a guy's bumper. So that shows you the kind of talent Jason Menda has, not rolling up there, not rolling into his bumper. I've actually thought he would hit him by now, and he just hasn't. He's done a really, really good job.
Well, he knows that the BGN cameras are on him. He's not going to get away with any shenanigans right now. He goes to the outside. He goes to the inside. He goes to the outside. Working both sides of the street like a jaywalking mailman. That's my dad saying. When he said it, it wasn't a mailman. It was a profession that I can't mention here on BGN. Meanwhile, look at the double Nicholas Spies trying to get on the back of Belke. Belke trying to hold positions. Wilson, he's got 2 cars in front of him. He's got 2 maniacs behind him. The 75 just trying to keep the car going straight, and now we got 2 in the wall. It was too long to race like that. Segala and the rookie Negus. Segala was working the outside, gave Negus no room to come off a 2. They get together, and the 2 go into the wall.
Yeah, that one's on the 81. He's on the outside there and just got down onto Scott's back right rear quarter panel, and it turned the nose of that 29 up the track there. Scott was kind of an innocent victim there. And I'll tell you, it's easy to misjudge where you sit in these cars that, you know, if you look at an in-car, you can look at the inside and that front tire is really wide, and sometimes it's pretty hard to adjust depending on your point of view behind the race, behind the wheel.
John, how about you talk to another John? You want to dial up to the other Canadian, John Wilson? He's sitting in third. He's got Smith and Menda in front of him. He's got Belke and Spies behind him. The poor guy's just trying to keep the car going straight. John, you got John Wilson. Go ahead.
John, this is John up in the booth. How are you doing, man?
Not too bad, John. How about you?
Doing good. Well, I'm going to say you're in the proverbial hornet's nest. You got them stacked up in front of you. You got them stacked up behind you. From your seat, how easy or how hard is it to stay patient there? Because I think you're quicker than the leader, even though you're a couple cars back.
Yeah, it feels like I got a pretty decent car here. And that caution before this one, I got some wheel damage, though. So I'm just going to drive it and see what I can do.
John, you started up front, then you got into an early incident. Way back, you talked about wheel damage. Did you get the wheel damage on the first incident, or some of the other nonsense that you got involved in since you got moved back?
Just the caution just before this one. They told me I had some wheel damage, but we'll drive it and see what happens.
Sometimes it helps the car. Good luck. We'll keep an eye on you.
Thank you, sir.
There we go. Yes, thank you, sir. What a nice Canadian.
Kind of curious what wheel got damaged, because that'll depend. I mean, if it's the right front, that's going to affect the turn in. If it's the left front, if it's the right front, the car is going to tend to be loose. If it's the left front, the car is going to tend to push. And I'm sure that he's kind of adjusting his driving style to whatever damage he has.
One more time, we're going to look at Tom Hilbert. Currently in 8th position now. He's got the number 61 on the outside, so I'm not sure if he's going to be able to hold it, but not a nice run from him. Started in 15th. One of the 2 Hilbert brothers, the younger of the Hilbert brothers. The sloppier eater of the 2 Hilbert brothers, I have been told. So it's probably because he was the youngest. He had to fight for the food on the table there while his older brother got it. Let's look at the Hilberts. How are they doing? Steve was racing up front there for a while. He is back in 9th position or 8th position back there. Yeah, 8th and 9th. So they raced together, just like at the dinner table when they were children. All right, look at that. There she is, the perfectly mesmerizing Josie Kirkland, ducking the pace car down, turning control over to Kurt Smith. Now Smith, in comparison to what Negus did, gets a much early jump. Let's see when he goes. He's got the 45. Look at the 45 nosing ahead of him there. He wants it. Before Menda is ready to go. Anytime you're ready, Kurt gets a good jump. Menda's slow on the gun. He can tuck down. I'll call for you. I'll spot for you there. Jason clear. He tucks the 45 down, and Wilson on the inside. Belke stuck on the outside. We've been watching the progress of the 24. He's starting to slow down a little bit. Boy, look at Menda stock the number 6. It's time. He needs to get that 45. He's been more than patient now. He would like to get it.
Yeah, then behind them, that 24 is looking to the outside of Wilson there, but I don't think that's going to hold there.
Okay, John, help me out. Assuming Menda has really used up his stuff, does it come back after the yellow flag? Does his tires feel a little bit better, or once they go, they're gone?
Once they go, they're gone, and you'll fire off on a restart, and if they're a little bit more worn than you anticipate, that's when you get into trouble going to the corners. You turn the wheel, and the car still wants to go straight.
All right, I hate to take you away from the leader. We'll jump back real quick. Back here, look at the guy who got stuck up top. That was Negas who got stuck up. He loses positions. He drops them there to the 55 of Spees. Liston gets underneath him. Tom Hilbert gets underneath him as well. Ricky Harden back there in the 3. Been a quiet night for him. Go back up front, because, we pride ourselves in showing the action through the field. You get to some broadcast networks and they focus the camera up front. Well, folks, we'd be remiss if we didn't show you the action up here, because this is really where the storyline is. This is the best action on the track right now. It is a story about Jason Menda, who started in 12th, worked his way all the way up to 2nd position, seeing if he can get around the number 6. And then, John, we got the Canadian driver, John Wilson. You said you thought he might be the fastest of the 3. I think he might be. And he said, I had wheel damage. But boy, to me, the 75 looks really good.
Yeah, and I'll tell you though, right behind him, the battle between Belke and Matt Hoos Matt is all over, and I'll go far now saying I think that 21's the fastest car on the track.
The 24 of Belke started dead last. He might have had to burn up a lot of his stuff. Meanwhile, Menda looking to the inside, but he just can't get a nose down in there. So if Hoos could get around the 24, he might have something for the front 3. Great racing going on. We got 8 laps to go until they need to start dancing.
Listen.
Stuck way up on the top side there. That is Spees, who loses a ton of spots.
Yeah, Steven pulled up out of the way there. I don't know if his tires just shot and he's done for, but yeah, he pulled way up.
We go back up front. Menda is just pestering Kurt Smith like a little sister saying, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you. Kurt Smith saying, Mom.
Hoos has got
him.
Out.
The Hoosinators, can you hear them cheering? They are screaming from around the nation as their man has moved up to the 4th. Meanwhile, Menda finally gets underneath. Look at the drive from the top side of Smith. Smith is clear. Menda can't get it. Menda is done. He's going to try work on the top side. He is done. The 45 is through, folks. Here comes John Wilson underneath him.
Yeah, Menda went to the outside there, and once again, the 6 got loose, and it walked the 45 up, and the 45 lost all his momentum. He's going to have to fight to stay on the outside there to try to get that 2nd place back.
It is a tale of 2 cities right now. You have Jason Menda, the aggressive American. You have John Wilson underneath, the polite Canadian. They fight side by side. This is the best news that Kurt Smith gonna ask for, because the more they argue, the more the number 6 pulls away. It's now a 7-car length lead between Smith, and Menda finally gets the best of Wilson. Watch out for the 21 of Hoos. Hoos has finally finished off Belke. Belke, not only did he lose the spot to Hoos, but he also lost the spot to the reigning and defending champion, the number 87 of Todd Liston. Holy folks, we are working lap number 79. It is all Kurt Smith. He's led 41 laps. Scott Negus led the early way, but he has fallen well back. The other driver who's been up front, Steven Spees. Spees has also fallen back as well. Right now, Kurt Smith looking to see if he can go another 21 laps to get to the end of this thing and bring home a win.
You know what time it is, right? I think maybe that's what Menda's been waiting for with Kurt Smith.
Coming around the 4th corner. Strike up the band, everybody. Put on your dancing shoes. Get the mirror ball a-spinning. If you're thinking about winning, it's time to boogie. Is the music playing? There's the music. Oh, the music was playing. We couldn't hear it in my headphones. Oh, but I'm dancing now. Kurt Smith, now that 7 cars length lead is now down to 4.
I think Mendes burned his stuff up. He's not closing in on that 6 very much at all.
This commentator called him done. He was side by side with Wilson, but Wilson was not able to get the spot as Menda used up all of his tire equity to secure second position. But right now, that's Mendes' modus operandi. Get to the front and then make the car as wide as possible. Don't know if he has anything for Kurt Smith. Smith and Menda may be done. Wilson is the guy. Watch out for Hoos. If Hoos can get something, he can get around Wilson. Maybe those 2 guys can make a move. Oh my goodness, sometimes the bloom is off the rose, and Belke, well, he was racing up front, the poor guy.
Oh, Menda won the wall.
Menda gets a little piece of the wall.
Yeah, he's struggling coming out of the corner, Soup. His car is going right out to the wall. He does not have the grip across those front tires. I don't know if he's used his tires up or if the tires just have got a lot of heat in them. If he can get them cooled down, maybe he can make one more run, but he is running out of time.
Well, the number 75 may need to shake off his Canadian politeness and see if he can get himself a little bit of a south of the border elbows there, as he sees he might need to work on Menda right now. That is the battle we're watching. John Wilson, Jason Menda. Go, John.
As I say, but he is part of the Canadian nation up there. Come on, those guys are hockey guys. Get a hip check going.
That's a good point. The Hoosinator back there in fourth looking. Now Wilson sees what the top side can do. All this going on behind Kurt Smith.
Wilson got loose.
Wilson drifts up, and that's the opportunity for Hoos. When Wilson got loose, it was all about Hoos, but now the 75 tucks it back down in there. Listen, watching in 5th position. We're going to put the camera on car number 61, Tom Hilbert, having maybe the race of his career. In 6th position right now. He is under attack from Steven Spies, but I don't think the 55 has much left to race with. They battle for 6th. About 10 to go. Love that camera angle as they come under you. There goes Smith. There goes Menda. They go around you. Wilson and Hoos giving pursuit. Menda won the season opener. He might not have anything for Kurt Smith, but now you got to think that the fireman is thinking big picture. And if I can bring it home here with even a podium, that's going to help his championship perspective. Oh, little brother Tom loses the spot to Steven Spies. Quickly, let's look at the 29. Scott Negas, he put on a good show. He led for 36 laps. He's back in 8th position. The rookie's showing what he's made of. With that said, we'll go back up to the battle for second. Menda, Wilson, Hoos. I think all those drivers are racing on the rims right now. You can almost see the sparks coming out from under the wheels. They go down into 1 and 2. Hoos might be thinking of a twofer right now. Let's ride on board the 21 and see what it looks like from his perspective. It's just when I thought that our director read my mind. Nowhere for the 21 to go. Probably the best thing that could happen to Menda was for Hoos to duck inside of Wilson.
And that's frustrating too, because you're probably a little quicker than those guys, and you just got nowhere to go with it. And if that's a sinking feeling, that the laps are winding down and you just got nowhere to go.
Well, Kurt Smith didn't know how fast he was, but he might have been fast enough. He'll be working lap number 97 coming across. What Smith does not need right now is a yellow flag. Want to see if we can give any yell out to anybody who has been unloved here on our broadcast so far? I don't think so. Anybody who deserves some love has got it. Been a quiet night for Todd Liston. He's back in 5th. There he is, really too far back to be a factor. Unless something happens from the guys racing for 2nd right now. So with just a few laps to go, let's go up and focus on that battle for 2nd. And then we'll jump and cover our leader coming across the line. He's working lap number 99. Oh, drifting high as Hoos. He's trying to find some way around.
He was. He was gonna try to go around the outside with his little brake as what he could, and he doesn't have the tire to quite do that.
Well, the white flag is out, and it is Kurt Smith going through 1 and 2. How about what Kurt has been able to do? We forced our way into an interview. He's on the back straight now. He's got corners 3 and 4, and he's going to pick up the first win of the season for him. Congratulations. Round number 2 here at Martinsville goes to Kurt Smith. Jason Menda holds on to 2nd, and he's going to up his gap in the points lead. John Wilson gets 3rd. I got to, before we cut to break, got to yell out to Tom Hilbert, a nice run for him as he comes home in 7th. And our rookie, Scott Negus, holds on for a top 10 spot in 8th. Well done to all those guys. We're going to take a short break here. Don't go far. We'll run down the entire order. Then John and I will talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate and hand you your hat. You're watching VGN. Welcome back to Martinsville Speedway and VGN's second round coverage of the 35th edition of the Bootleg Racing League's Outlaw SK Modified Invitational Series. The results are in. Let's give them to you now. 16 drivers took the grid. The top 10 finished on the lead lap. The fastest of all the lead lap drivers, Kurt Smith. We heard him in the interview. He didn't know he was fast. Well, Kurt, you were fast enough as he gets the win, able to hang on from his 2nd position starting. Jason Menda comes from 12th to 2nd and gave Smith everything he could want for it till he ran out of umps. John Wilson tried to get around Menda. He fell back early, got up to Menda at the end, but couldn't get around. And Matt Hoos made a nice charge to the field, 14 to 4th, with Todd Liston, our defending champ, coming home in 5th. Rounding out the back half of your top 10, Steven Spieth, Tom Hilbert, who continues to get sneaky fast every race. Keep an eye on him. Rookie Scott Negus has a nice showing as he led himself 36 laps. Ricky Harden comes home in 9th, and Big Brother Steve, top 10 in the points, finishes 10th today, guarantees he'll stay in the top 10. John?
Finishing 11th is Brennan Myers. Next to him will be Austin Belkey, who definitely had an up-and-down night. Same as Joe Segala. Segala was strong early and got caught up in a wreck, and he comes home 13th. Lil Jewel 14th. On the pole for next week is going to be Jeff Harden. So he brings her home 15th by that finish. That's going to let him start right up front there. Chris Haslip 16th, and I'm not sure how this happened, but I finished 17th. Mark finished 18th, but I guess Mark, I guess he just didn't make it to the grid. He got stopped at the hot dog stand and just guessed it cost him that 17th spot.
All right, but both those drivers get credited, I guess, with the start. With that said, we're going to talk to our race winner tonight. It is Kurt Smith. He's a veteran. He's been racing in this series a long time. This is his first career modified win here at Martinsville. Kurt, congratulations. You didn't think you were fast, but you were fast enough.
Yeah, I really didn't think I had the pace. I was really slow from center off, and Jason was really getting a good run on me, but I was able to keep up some speed down the straightaway to stay in front of him.
When you had Menda behind you, man, he was really working you until I think he used up his stuff and fell off the pace. Do you race with your eyes forward? Do you look back to see where he's going, or what do you do?
I was trying to remember to look forward. I did it most of the time, but every once in a while I catch myself looking in the mirror, seeing what he was doing.
How'd the car feel at the end? Did you have much left? Did I know you were never comfortable, but was it worse at the end, or was you okay?
Yeah, it was just picking up just a little bit of a push, but other than that, it still felt pretty good.
Well, it's always nice to see you win. It's a fan favorite when you do, so they get happy. We get lots of texts and emails when you get that done. Congratulations, Kurt. Well done, buddy.
Thank you very much. You guys have a good one.
Kurt Smith, your winner here tonight. All right, John, you get to talk to the fireman, Jason Menda.
I do. And Jason, man, I tell you, you came a long way from the back, mid-pack, and to get up there into second, got to miss a lot of stuff. Looked like didn't have enough left in that car to get you the win there, but describe those last few laps, just how much of a handful was that car?
I was hanging on pretty good. Burned up the right rear a few times on the outside, and all the big checkups just kills your momentum in these cars.
Yeah, it really does. And, man, I'm going to tell you, you put on a show. I know you didn't get the pass on Kurt, but, how you didn't run into him. You did such a good job tonight of being patient and not getting there. But what else did you need, do you think, to maybe have got around Kurt there, through, lap probably, 60 to maybe like 80?
A couple more horsepower. The things are, if you check up too much in the center, not let it roll, it just kills your momentum. I threw everything at him at the kitchen sink, couldn't catch him.
You sure did. I was rooting for you, but a little short this week. But hey, a good points night. What point in the season, you start looking at those points and, dare I say, you start points racing?
My work schedule will eventually mess up my season, so I don't worry about it too much.
Fair enough. Well, Jason, great run tonight. It was fun watching you, buddy. Anybody want to give a shout out to?
Congratulations to Kurt for winning. Everybody in the league. It's a great league to be in, and you guys up in booth do a great job.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Jason. Well, hopefully we get to see you next week.
Yep. Thanks.
Jason Menda sitting top in the points. He's a fireman. You really need to get your priorities straight there, Menda. I mean, saving lives or winning a Bootleg Racing League championship. Come on, get it figured out.
Yeah,
All
I mean, Aiden's not here, and you look what it's costing him.
Those guys, if they can't figure out how to get out of a burning house, really, come on, stick around and get yourself a championship. With that said, let's go ahead and talk to John Wilson. Man, you put on quite a show, John. We thought you were faster than the two guys, just nowhere for you to go.
Yeah, no, that one chance I got down inside Jason, you just couldn't, if you're stuck on the bottom and the guy's pinching you down good like Jason was, you just can't get that run off the corner. And there was momentum to be had on that high side if you did it right.
Do you like Martinsville?
Not really.
It's a tough. You put on a good show. Hey, tell us a little bit about yourself. We know you're from Canada. What do you do?
I'm a welder fabricator.
Really? So it's okay. So what are you welding? Submarines. Tell me you're welding Canadian submarines.
No, unfortunately not. A lot of structural stuff. We also build a lot of aluminum docks. But the jobs just depends on what we quote on.
All right. Do you have one of those welder's masks? Because you could wear that during your racing.
Actually, I'm planning on wearing it during that eclipse that we're supposed to have, I think, this week.
Coming your way, I think April 8th. Good job. Well, congratulations on the third place finish tonight. Protect your eyesight, man, and enjoy the eclipse.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
John Wilson. I'd like to see him in his welder's helmet racing. With that said, we were all done. Oh, I forgot to ask him the poll question. What superhero would he want? What power would he want? Well, we'll get that tomorrow night. With that said, I'm going to go into the closet, look for your hat. You don't have a hat here, so I'm just going to say thanks for coming. Until next time, we hope to do a better job. Oh, wait. we have more to tell you before you leave. I bet you'd like to know when we're going to do this again. We're going to do it the very next week right now, Friday night. We're going to the Nashville Fairgrounds. So during the race, if it gets boring, head on over and jump on the Ferris wheel. That's going to be round 3, Saturday, April 13th at that's Friday the 13th. Oh my goodness. Let's hope that works out.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
Ooh.
Oh, boy.
When you hear John, that sounds like this Gremlins for one of the commentators for that one. But before then, how about the Andy Morgan Cup? That's going to be Road America. That's going to be on Sunday. We're going to do that one. You don't want to miss that. Do we not have a broadcast tomorrow night? Or should we? Oh, that is tomorrow night. Oh, I'm very confused. All right. Folks, don't read that there. Ryan Seneker made a mistake on that one. But you'll figure it out because you're smart. Now, to show you the intelligence of me, I'm going to go off script and go into the closet for the second time. Look for your hat. It's not here. So I'm going to say thanks for coming. Until next time, have fun storming the castle.